Well, folks, even horses have their own form of social media. Sterling and Stella just happened to be wandering by and checking out the latest message here on this pile. I'm actually quite surprised he didn't leave a message today. But it's certainly nice to see that Sterling and Stella are still a couple, still a thing. And she's got a baby belly, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see that next year. And then here comes Dogbone. Dogbone won't go by without leaving his own message. And look at that horse on the right. That's Merlin. Here's Fritz. He's coming by and he doesn't really care about the pile. He usually pees on it. And then there's Rocky. Rocky with his damaged ear on the right side. Otherwise, he's got pretty much no markings at all. And of course, they have to turn around and make sure they got the message right. There's his buddy and sidekick Victor. We still have stallions, and lots of them that we don't have any names for. We've seen this guy hanging around for a while, and he's just kind of on his own. And of course, the magpie uses him for a landing pad. There's Freddie down at his little tree, and this is Orion. And there's not too many leaves left to fall off. It's getting that time of year. Trojan and Tia over here in the winter barn. And I think she has another baby belly as well. Fortunately, they weren't able to keep their foal this year for very long. And here's a pretty good look at Trojan leaving the winter barn, heading out into the meadow for some grass. And then back up at Goliath's camera station, we have a different band of horses here. They've been kind of hanging out in this area now for about a month, this group. We don't really know too much about them. But when the stallion says it's time to move, girls, they better get moving. And just watch here as one sneaks in again. He says, "Don't push my buttons." And there's an early morning back at the winter barn. Now folks, this is really interesting. This is very, very rare. This is Trojan with another stallion. Now, I'm sure that Tia is just off camera here, but I have never seen Trojan deal with another stallion of any band like this. This is really not typical of his behavior. So, the things we just keep learning from these cameras, it's pretty amazing. Now, this doesn't seem to be a very aggressive meeting, but they're definitely having a chat, and Trojan is kind of saying, well, you really don't belong here. This is my lady, and you're not welcome to her. But he sure is being polite about it. And there's Trojan and Tia now after the other stallion leaves. You know, folks, we really are getting a little bit concerned about what our government is planning to do with the horses in this zone within the next year. You can see here that this grass for the middle of October is just about gone. But truthfully, when you look at this, this is actually a lot of grass compared to all the other spots around this valley. When we go outside this meadow and up and down some of the corridors, the grass on those other areas looks just like the surface of a pool table, right down, nipped down to the ground. So I think we're going to have to really get serious and start talking to the government about cutting back on some more cows rather than horses. And we're going to need your help for that. Here's Vincent and Orion. They always seem to hang around in this vicinity, within a couple of square miles. It just seems to be their hangout. You know, I took Andrew Mansky and his girlfriend Lisa out yesterday, and we did the full loop, the full camera loop with the Ranger ATV, and we did not see one horse in that entire loop. Of course, this is footage from the trail cameras, which was about a week ago. But I'll tell you what, they have definitely moved on, looking for better food sources. The cows have really just absolutely stripped everything. Now this little filly, we saw her back when we were dealing with JD over there in that other part of the forest. And she was just a tiny little thing. But here we are on October the 8th and she's still with us. So that's encouraging. Just a pretty little thing, that's for sure. Now this is kind of interesting. It was a really rainy day on the 11th, and this is Jenny. And her and Cisco are up at this top end of the meadow where the bears were ripping up the turf. And on this particular day, I was out with a young lady from Germany and another young lady from Poland. Both had contacted me and wanted to see if I could show them some wild horses in Alberta while they were here. And the young lady from Germany, her name is Fenya, even though I couldn't get out with the ATV that day, I took them out in the truck. And that, of course, was Jenny and Cisco watching us arrive in the truck. And here's Fenya.
Okay.
So we do get a number of international guests, and when they come that far, folks, I really do have to take them out and show them around. So after we left, Jenny and Cisco came back into the winter barn. Soaking wet, of course. It was a very rainy day. But the horses are looking pretty healthy. You know, even though the grass is getting pretty slim pickings right now, they surely didn't suffer through the summer. There's Vincent and Orion back, and they've got another stallion with them back there. Now, these two are running from something. Don't know what it is that's got them excited. Now, look at this. Here's Halo. This is Harley's little filly. And boy, she's getting some size to her too, isn't she? You know, her and Dusk would be about the same age now. And as long as they stick close together like this in this little family, they should be good now till spring. I think the bears are going to be looking for hibernation here in the next month or two. And hopefully once they get to sleep, these foals will have a little better chance of survival till next spring. Look at these guys now. They're mixing in here with the cows, and we got different stallions having chats and kind of lots of activity going on. There's a little look at Goliath's band again. Still have their colt right there, and he's getting to be a good size. We don't have a name for him yet, and I just don't really want to name him for a little while. I'm just going to see if he sticks around for a bit. We named Rebels little colt, and right after that he disappeared. So just a little superstitious over here. But there's a good look at Ginger, and then the colt was looking right up over her back, so he's getting some size to him. I know these horses kind of look black, but realistically they're actually really dark bays. Now this particular band here, the only one that I've named in here is the little filly, and we called her Flicka. She's got that little wee spot on her forehead. Pretty little thing, and you know, here we are on October 13th and we still have her, so I got my fingers crossed on Flicka. Now when you look at that big stallion here, it makes me think that that's likely about where Dusk is headed for size and appearance. Dusk is going to be a very dark bay, and certainly with the size of his neck, he could end up as big as that fella. Oh, Fritz, you're always peeing on the salt blocks. My goodness. Well, here comes the cows again, and seems to be a little bit of stallion activity here. Now this guy here, he's a new fella on the block. I've been seeing him for a number of weeks now, but really don't know where he came from. And by the way, a lot of you might be looking at these horses and thinking about Star and Saber, and quite honestly, we haven't seen them in well over a month. So they've just wandered off somewhere, and we just don't know where. They're just not within our camera range at this time. So it's still a bit wet inside the winter barn there, but I think it's going to start drying up pretty quick. Yeah, here's a frisky little halo out in the meadow. You can see that spot where the bears have got it all ripped up. And once again, you know, back on the middle of July, folks, only 1 month ago, this grass here was probably 8 to 10 inches tall. There's a really nice look at Scarlet and her stallion. And a few more horses here that we really don't know too much about over at Goliath's camera station. And here's that moose we were showing you the other day, and we just still got a few more pictures of them. And this is quite normal for them to get down on their knees like that. This fella stuck around for quite a while, right into daylight. Now, folks, here's a really good part of the story. We were really excited when we got the cards home. As you can see, this is October 13th, to find a new foal with this band. We really don't know much about this band, but they're in the winter barn, and we've seen them around for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden there's a new baby here. Isn't that exciting? And it looks like a filly, so we're starting to see some more fillies showing up. It's a pretty frisky little thing. It's healthy. I don't think the predators are anywhere near right now. I know the bears have kind of moved on, and I think the wolves are up at the other end of the valley for the time being. So let's keep our fingers crossed here that this little filly makes it for a while, and we'll try and keep an eye on her and keep you updated. Just a cute little thing. Well, of course they all are. I don't think I've ever seen an ugly baby. Somebody told me once that babies have to be cute or else their mums wouldn't feed them. I think we can probably figure this one's going to be fed, so she must be cute. But look at the markings on the mare. Those are quite unique. I think we'll recognize her again down the road. And I'll tell you, the squirrels in this particular spot, boy, are they busy. They are burying spruce cones and stuff like that by the hundreds. It's amazing how many cones those squirrels will gather up and put at the base of a tree. And then I go out 3 days later and they're all gone. They're all underground. Sometimes they're so busy they won't even stop to get the sunflower seeds that bring them out. And here's another good shot of Harley and Halo and his two mares. And she's looking really healthy. Probably about the same size as Bonita. And certainly Jewel would have been this size, but unfortunately she's not with us anymore. So during this particular time, we did have Sandy Sharkey come all the way out to Alberta, and she brought her really good friend Wendy Daniels. So we're going to have them out to the winter barn here shortly. And we haven't seen Harley actually for the last couple of weeks. We know he's out there right in the area, but they don't have to be very far away or just on the other side of a hill for us to miss them when we're going by. Here's a shot of Grayson. We haven't seen him for a week or two. So he's still in the area. This is just on the 14th, so last week, and he's still got his two mares with him. Be interesting to see what kind of foals we have in the spring from this band. He's a pretty good sized horse, this Grayson. And of course that mare, well, both of them are pretty good, but I see baby belly on the one for sure.
Gonna miss out today. Just for two way around it. Come on, Freddie! If you taste it, you can actually tell if it's male or female.
Go ahead, let me know.
It is all, it's just grass.
All right.
Yeah.
So, it's not a crime scene, in other words.
You are not fun.
Yeah!
Oh!